Hello and welcome back to another Star Wars Legion video. Today we're going to be going over some helpful tips whenever it comes to army building and really just how I approach starting off a game and army building in a way. And that is what we're going to go into today. Hopefully it's helpful to some people. If not, that's okay. And if it is, great. I hope you enjoy. But let's dive right in. As always, I am a casual player right now. I do not play in tournaments or competitively. It's just casual. So take this advice with what you will. Today we're getting into why I have the Battle Marathon up here, and that is how I approach starting off a game and approach army building in a way. And that is with my rule of 2. And we're going to get into why I call it the rule of 2 here. Just like every good Sith after the fall of the old Sith Empire, and starting with Darth Bane, rule of 2, it works in army building and in Legion, just as it did for the Sith to take over the galaxy for a little bit. And that's going to be starting us off with a map here. We're just going to use intercept signals. It works on pretty much every map besides a few where you're going to have to split off your groups a little bit more than just 2. But it's how I approach my army building in general. And we're going to get straight into it. And that is with 2 different groups of soldiers or units or anything that you can think of. This can be core units. This can be your special forces, heavies. Basically, I approach the 2 groups as everything except for operatives and commanders. We're going to get into why they're for in just a bit, but this is going to be like my core, special forces, support, and heavy units, and I'm going to be grouping them. And even the heavies to an extent can be taken out of this, and that is because of that strong point down there in point number 3. Now, with this point, you're going to be taking 2 groups, and you are going to be taking 2 points with the 2 groups. So you're going to be taking different POIs with those 2 groups. These 2 groups need to be synergistic. You can't just put units down that don't support each other. You can to an extent, like if you have a group of strong, but I tend to put, if I'm like playing the Separatist, I might put all my B1s on one side of the board and move them up in a wave assault against that point. Like I said, this is specifically for intercept signals, this one right here, or close the pocket, or points where you don't have a lot of POIs. Now if I have a lot of POIs, I'll spread it out more. And even with that, B1s can be spread out across the board to direct orders to units that you need to get orders to. So it's not a strong rule of 2, just like the Sith. You can have other groups, but it's generally how I approach army building. I'm going to be like, I'm going to put these units together, and then they're going to go take a POI or 2 POIs, or half is going to stay back and defend a POI, and the other half's going to move forward. That's kind of my idea with it. Or I'm going to put strong units like Magna Guards, BXs, supporting those B1s, or even Magna Guards with Grievous attacking that point. And now I said I'm not putting commanders into these 2 group categories. And that's because my third point on this, which is strong characters, can really just move around and do whatever they want. They can go take the left side of the board. They can go take the upper side of the board. They just go where they're needed. Oftentimes, if I'm playing the Republic, I will have my core units supporting that commander or supporting that operative. In GAR, I don't play a lot of operatives, but they will support those units. And even in this Separatist, I will, if I'm playing like Grievous, I will have his Magna Guard supporting him, taking the lead of one of these 2 groups, in a sense, where they're leading the charge and the other units are staying back and becoming sniper. With my ARF Trooper army, where I had that big ARF Trooper list, I had Anakin with a group of clone infantry, actually 2 clone infantry, go up one side of the board, while Cody and Ahsoka took the other side of the board, with another set of clone infantry and a few other things, and that was their job, was to take that side of the board, and the ARF trooper stayed back and was support fire for them. And that is just how I build my armies now, is basically with this rule of 2. It's not a strong rule, it's more of a loose rule for me, because like I said, strong characters, or even like my tanks, I'm not going to put the tanks in a group unless I'm doing the ATST and it's marching forward to go kill some people. Even then, those are more of my long range supporting units, especially with like the AAT tank or the Saber tank. A lot of the time, those are just defending my backline while my 2 groups go up and meet the enemy. And oftentimes, I find when I'm playing this game, my troops are gonna go into 2 groups anyways. I will say I don't play a heavy activation list, and I never have, because it doesn't really fit my play style. The person I play against most does. He does play heavy activation lists, so he doesn't really follow this rule all the time. And maybe that wins him more games. I don't really know. We don't keep track too much except for our losing streaks, and I have a little bit longer of a losing streak than he does by 1 match. But it just happens to be that way. It's not because of this play style necessarily. It might be because the army we're running when we're testing out new things. But I found that after I started using this rule of 2, I've won a lot more games. And it's not, for casual players, it's not all about winning. But it is nice to win, because you do play the game to win the game. You don't play to lose. Just like in Magic the Gathering, you're not playing to lose the game. You're playing to have fun and to try to win. So it is a little bit more casual, with the mindset of just we try out different random armies. But yeah, my rule of 2 has led me to many victories, and that's why I wanted to bring it up as a helpful tip for you guys. Let me know if you use the rule of 2, and if you do, I hope it works well for you. If not, then I hope your opponent does and it works well against you. Just a joke there. But in all fairness, this is just a quick little, this is how I build my armies, this is how I do it. Maybe it will help you, maybe it won't. If so, good. I'll see you guys in the next one, and I hope you have a good rest of your week. Bye!